Oh hey there, I didn't think someone as good looking as you would click on this video, but it seems you've been having a bit of trouble ranking up lately. You're probably wondering if I'm even gonna give good tips about now. Well,
He's out.
One enemy.
I doubt it. I'm just a dude who plays way too much Valorant ranked. If you're new around here, I'm Zapper, your new favorite Immortal 3 yapper. Here are 5 of the most common bad habits holding you back that you likely have never heard before. Part 1, peeking without a plan. You should have some sort of plan going into each and every round. Just winging it will not cut it as you reach the higher ranks. By giving yourself a simple guide to follow before each round, your goals become much more clear. Something like, I'm gonna walk to the off angle and A main. If they throw a gecko flash, I'm gonna shoot it and then fall off the angle. If they don't throw it, I'm gonna go for 1 kill and then I'm gonna try to dismiss out. That's gonna have much higher odds of success than I'm gonna go fight A main because I saw a Demon 1 doing it. Technically speaking, it's the same play, but the extra bit of planning helps prepare your brain beforehand, allowing for faster and more accurate reactions. Part 2, going into the tunnel, aka tunnel vision. Everyone goes into the tunnel from time to time, even the pros. However, tunnel vision is never a good thing because it leads to rash decision making. You can easily tell if you were tunneled if all of a sudden you're dead in the middle of 4 enemies and your allies are nowhere to be seen. Could have sworn they were right there with you just a second ago, and now they're planning on the opposite site. Tunnel vision is simply put when you focus so hard on one particular thing that you start drowning out everything else. This means you will stop hearing your teammates' calls. You won't be checking on your minimap or paying attention to where your team is at. You might not even hear the enemies running up on your flank. The best answer for tunnel vision is simply to watch out for it. If you notice yourself hyperfixating on one thing, just take a split second to reset and process everything going on. Part 3, overcommitting. You could be the greatest aimer in the world and still struggle to convert rounds if you have a habit of overcommitting. Overcommitting is more common than you might think, but the reasoning is very simple. Y'all are kill hungry. After the first frag, instead of falling off and playing numbers, you keep trucking forward and you look for the second fight, third fight, even the fourth. Often, this second fight is going to be much harder because after getting your first kill, the enemies now know exactly where you are. If you do get the first kill, your dying right after negates any advantage that you may have netted for your team. Instead, by simply falling back after you get a pick, you increase your time alive and give yourself more of an opportunity to take advantage of that said pick. Oftentimes, the enemy will overaggress after losing the first fight, giving you the perfect opportunity to pad your KD. So no need to overcommit after getting a pick, because often the enemy will do all the hard work for you. Disclaimer, it's still good to take space after getting kills, but just do it with discretion. Don't W key into 4 more enemies with no utility. Part 4, wasting utility. No utility, well, chances are you wasted it. Utility is one of, if not the most valuable asset you have inside of Valorant. How many times have you seen a Sova dart at the start of the round only for the enemy team to break it instantly? Instead, if Sova just waited for the moment the enemies were running out sight, he could have darted right behind them and just sprayed through the smoke for super easy kills. Sova utility obviously isn't the only thing people waste though. No matter what agent you're playing, you should have a purpose behind each piece of utility you use. Don't flash a specific angle because you saw your favorite pro player do it. Flash the angle because you're worried the enemy is there. If you aren't worried they're there, then why are you wasting your utility when you might get more value out of it later? Part 5, playing solo. You are not the reincarnation of Gojo, bro. If you're a solo A-side on Haven playing Reyna, why are you fighting for sight with your life? Instead, it's much easier to play somewhere close to hear footsteps for a rush. Then when you hear the Roman army stomping down short, you can call to your team to rotate in and then fall off site for retake. Of course, if you see an opportunity, going for one and getting out can be extremely beneficial as well. Just be careful because if you do die, retaking becomes a lot harder for your team. You'd be surprised at how often one extra body is the difference maker on retake. Playing solo is a bigger issue than just falling off site for retake though. When a player is playing by himself, maybe he's lurking, who knows, they will play solo. They will play solo. Well, obviously. But a good lurker is actually still playing with their team. In other words, if you are isolated from your team, you should still be aware of what your team is doing so that you can coordinate map pressure. Next time you are behind the enemy by yourself, try waiting for your team to engage before you start taking your fights. You might be by yourself, but in doing this, your team is drawing attention away from the flank, making your fights more favorable. If you can combine your utility with this coordinated push, you can quickly wipe out the enemy team.